Mojang has just released a brand new snapshot for the new spring update, introducing 2 new types of cows, and yes, they finally added fireflies to Minecraft after so many years. But let's just jump into it with the new cold cow. Look at this guy. Oh my god, he is amazing. He's got some giant horns on him and even a huge nose as well. I love this texture. And yes, you can find this cow in the same biomes that you can find the cold pig as well from the snapshot a couple of weeks ago. Look at this. Love it. We're getting so many new mob variants in Minecraft. Now, these cows spawn in a variety of different biomes that you can see right here, and this isn't the only cow that we have. If you go to any of these warm biomes, you have a chance of finding a very warm cow. Look at this one. Oh my god, I love the horns on it. It's also got that same nose as well. This is a good looking cow, man. I mean, holy cow. So, of course, you can find these guys in some of the same biomes that you can find the warm pig as well from a couple of weeks ago. Looking absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, these are pretty similar, if not, you know, the same as your standard vanilla cow. But, I mean, the horns on this are just kind of sad after you compare them to this dude. I mean, look at that. That is solid. You would not want to get chased down by that. So, yes, it's just a retexture of your vanilla cow, but don't have a cow, man. We're getting new features. It's great. Also, for anyone curious, yes, you can find these naturally spawning in the hot biomes or the cold biomes, but if you breed them with a standard cow or with each other or, you know, cross species or whatever, not species, type? I don't know. Anyway, it's gonna randomly pick one of the parents, and look at the baby. It's got those huge horns on it still. That's crazy. Yeah, so if you breed a normal one with a warm one, you have a 50-50 chance of getting a regular or warm. Also, we gotta see what the baby cold cow looks like. Okay, look at him. Oh, I love the horns. They're different on this one. Okay, that's really cool, actually. Yeah, looking good. I don't know what I really expected, but it's looking good. There's now 5 different types of cows in Minecraft, because we have the mushrooms and the brown mushrooms as well. Don't forget about these guys. These spawn or happen when a normal mushroom gets hit by lightning. Why? Because it's Minecraft. I almost mentioned last week, I was wondering if we were going to get new cow variants, but I realized, you know, we already got the 3, and I figured that was kind of enough. But hey, now we got 5, the more the merrier. And now they just need to add chocolate milk, because why do we get regular milk from this? I mean, where's my chalky milk, Mojang? I might be too excited about these cows, but you know what else is in Minecraft now? Fireflies, and we've waited so long for this moment. Feast your eyes on this magnificent image. After many years of fighting the good fight, we now have fireflies in the swamp biome, everyone. Yep, that's right. You can now rest easy. You can die well knowing that we got fireflies. Now, these are not a real mob, so technically, you know, Mojang didn't quite do the thing that we wanted them to do. It's fine, it's fine. We got particles, which is really the only way to do this. I mean, you know, fireflies were always going to be a 2-pixel mob anyway, which is like, I never understood the whole reason we were fighting to get fireflies, but hey, now we have them. Now, you'll notice that we also have a new plant here as well. This is the firefly bush. Now, when it's nighttime, these bushes are actually going to light up, and yes, they will twinkle like that, which I love. An animated plant, really cool. Why we didn't get this kind of animation with the torch flower, I don't understand. But also, another reason I'm upset about the torch flower is that these actually emit a light level of 2. It's basically impossible to see. I don't really notice any light coming from it. However, torch flower doesn't emit any light. Basically, it's garbage. The firefly bush really is everything that the torch flower wanted to be, but it did it better, and it gave us fireflies. Now, as you see, once it becomes a daytime, you're going to lose all the particles or fireflies around these things. However, it's still going to be animated, which I'm not sure is intended or not, but there is a super easy way to actually acquire these things, which has actually come over from Bedrock Edition. So if you bone meal these things, you're just going to straight up get more of the item, which is kind of cool. So yet again, another farm in Minecraft is just spamming bone meal, which is great. You know, sometimes that's all you really need. Now, on Bedrock Edition, there's a feature where you can just directly bone meal the flower, and that'll actually spread more flowers in the area. That is not on Java, and we're very proud of our Bedrock exclusive features. So this is kind of a cross between them, but also, like, a majority of the plants kind of just work this way. So if you take a look around the swamp, as you see, there's just a couple of these firefly bushes. They're not absolutely everywhere, but, you know, they're kind of sprinkled around at about the same rate as your dead bushes. bushes or your mushrooms. So it's not going to be so many, but it's also not going to be really that difficult to find. Now, there's actually only 2 places to find the firefly bushes. You'll find them in these swamps, and you can also find them along rivers as well. And also, you can just straight up punch these things to acquire them. So unlike all the other grasses or ferns in Minecraft, you do not need shears or silk touch to collect these, which is kind of a departure from the standard plant way of doing things. Like, pretty much the only other plant that really does that is like maybe drip leaves and, you know, lily pads, but leaves and grass and all this other stuff does not work by just punching it. Normally, you gotta have them shears. I've managed to find exactly 4 of these firefly bushes around a river, and I've got around quite a few rivers, so this is definitely the more rare way of finding these. This next feature is gonna test your powers of I Spy ability. There is a new feature on screen, and no, it's not those 2 tiny little bushes over on the far side over there. However, it is a new type of bush. So we have 2 types of bushes in this update. This one is just called bush, and you know what, you can find this in a bunch of different biomes. It blends in really well with all the different types of grass that you can find here. Now, if you bone meal this right here, it will actually spread to the side, which is kind of similar to the Bedrock feature. However, if it's blocked up on all 4 sides, it's just kind of gonna not spread anything. So watch out for that, I guess. And again, to get these, you can just punch them. You do not need shears, which seems a bit weird since they're basically the same thing as grass, and you've always needed shears or silk touch for that. Now, I think a cool thing for this would actually be able to make them too tall, and that would be really nice because, like, we have the too tall grass, of course. Now, if we had a too tall one of these, I think it would just look good. It might even be kind of similar to the peony, but of course without all the pink on there. Now, you can find these bushes in a variety of different biomes around the world, so super easy to find. However, what might be a bit of an overlook right now, or a bit of a bug, is that you don't seem to be getting them if you just bone meal the ground in these biomes, and I think you should be able to get them that way. It just makes sense if they naturally spawn in this biome. So that is the bush, and I know it's a super small feature, but let me know what you think. There could definitely be a little couple improvements to it, as I mentioned. Speaking of little updates, we now have some new ambient sounds for the desert and mesa biomes, or I'm sorry, the Badland biomes. It's the one with the clay. No, it's actually terracotta. Dang it, I'm old Minecrafter. Anyway, so if you have a bunch of sand next to each other, it's gonna make some sand rustling sounds, which I actually really like. Now, the dead bushes can also make some sounds as well. Sandy sounds. This is actually really cool. These ambient sounds are fantastic. Now, the great thing about these is it's not biome dependent. So if you put down a bunch of sand somewhere, or put down a bunch of dead bushes on top of some sand or clay or terracotta, then you're actually going to be able to get these sounds. It's basically the same system that they created for the what's the most recent Minecraft update? It's the same thing that they did for the pale oak trees and the pale moss and all that stuff. All these things kind of emit, you know, biome sounds if you place down a bunch of them, and they make those creaking sounds. But now they've added that same thing to sand, and I bet you Mojang is not done with this either. You can get these kind of same and even similar sounds in the Badland biomes too. Now, they appear to play kind of constantly. Maybe they need to be tuned down just a little bit. Otherwise, they might get a bit annoying if you play in this biome a lot or build with a lot of these blocks. But you know what? It's still pretty cool. I like that they're testing around with this kind of thing. Hey, so you guys know on Bedrock Edition how beacons are just utterly pathetic in all the ways imaginable. Well, Java Edition just made that even worse. So now beacon beams can actually be seen from outside of the render distance. So if we just back this thing on up, you can see this from, like, just incredibly, ridiculously, absurdly, insanely far away. As you see, it's outside of render distance, and we can still see that beacon beam, which is just honestly a slap in the face to Bedrock Edition, and I expect nothing less. On Bedrock Edition, you can't even see those things for 60 blocks away. So this is just... Oh, there it goes, finally. That took a long time. I was running out of things to say. and ways to get insulted. But once it unloads, it doesn't reload until you get back into loaded chunks, as you can see here. So, maybe not a perfect solution, but dang! That is pretty cool. Yeah, so Mojang, you need to add this to Bedrock Edition a lot, like 8 years ago. If this video is a bit slower than normal, it's because I like super sprained my wrist and I'm kind of working with like 1.5 hands here. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Minecraft news when it releases, then of course make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.